This video will demonstrate the basic usage of Direct AHCI mode in OpenSuperClone-Live. There are a few criteria that must be met in order to use Direct AHCI. Your source drive must be connected directly to your motherboard's SATA ports. The SATA storage mode in your BIOS must be set to AHCI. The ATA port that you're accessing must be disabled or hidden from the OS. This will be discussed later in the video. If you are booting in secure boot mode, you must enroll OSC-Live secure boot keys. See my video on using OSC with secure boot for more information. Lastly, you will want to have a spare, healthy SATA drive on hand. This will be used for identifying your ATA port numbers. Before we can read from a drive through Direct AHCI, the port that it's plugged into needs to be disabled or hidden from Linux. This is to prevent anything else inside the OS from trying to access the drive. We want OSC to be the only program that can communicate with it. To begin, locate an available SATA port on your motherboard and connect a working, healthy SATA drive to it. Do not use your unhealthy drive for this step. We will swap in the real source drive at a later point. Also take note of the model number, serial number, and capacity of this drive so that you can correctly identify it in OSC. Now in OSC, we'll start by creating a new project. This won't be used for the actual recovery, so the name and location isn't important. I'm just going to call this Demo. Next, change the mode to Direct AHCI. If you receive an error message here, then you probably need to watch the secure boot video. Now we'll click on Drives and select Source Drive. With Direct AHCI enabled, the source selection list will display all of the ATA ports present on your motherboard. In my case, I have two drives connected right now. This first drive on ATA 3 is a 2TB drive that will be used as the destination, so this isn't the port that needs to be disabled. ATA 6.00 at the bottom here is the port that I have my spare 500GB drive plugged into. This is the port that I'll be plugging the source drive into, which will need to be disabled. The information listed here shows that this is ATA number 6. SDC is the Linux drive name, which means this drive is currently visible to the OS. This number in parentheses is the exact drive capacity in bytes, so this is a 500 gig drive. Next is the drive's full model number, and last is the drive's serial number. All of this info can help you identify whether you're looking at the correct drive, especially if you have multiple drives of the same or similar models connected to your system. As we can see here, this all matches the information from my drive's label. And you'll see if I click on this drive and try to select it, I get a warning that this isn't allowed because the drive is still available to the OS. So now we need to reboot OSC-Live with the identified ATA port disabled. In the boot menu, use your arrow keys to scroll down to Disable/Hide ATA ports, and press Enter. Then scroll to the desired ATA port, which in my case is 6, and press Enter again. OSC-Live will now boot with the selected port disabled and hidden from the OS. Now launch OSC again and create a new project. Select Direct AHCI, and open the source drive selection. I can now see my same drive listed under ATA 6, but there's no drive letter now, which means this port is properly hidden from the OS. I can also select this drive and it will now be accepted as the source. But this isn't the drive that I want to clone, so now I'm going to disconnect it and swap in my actual source drive, which will be a 2TB Seagate. My motherboard is configured for SATA hot plug, so I can do this without shutting down the OS. But if yours isn't, then you may need to shut down, connect your faulty drive, then boot up again using the same ATA port option as before. Okay, I now have my faulty source drive plugged into ATA6. I'm making a new project file for the actual recovery and storing it on another hard drive that I've also connected. Checking that mode is still set to AHCI. And now I can select my 2TB Seagate from the sources list. My destination will be a drive since I'm cloning 2TB to 2TB, and I can select my WD as the destination. Destination and source are displayed correctly, so now just click Connect and Start. And we can already see this drive definitely has some issues. We're getting a few skips and slow skips already. This particular drive is actually behaving a bit faster compared to using the default pass-through mode. It's taking a little bit less time for each skip. And now it's been running for a couple minutes, and with the terminal pulled up, we can see that Direct AHCI mode has been sending a few soft and hard resets to the drive when it was taking too long to respond to commands. So that has been a basic demonstration of how to use Direct AHCI mode and disable ports using OSC-Live. As always, thank you for watching, and good luck with your recovery.